Stop. Stop scrolling. I need you to answer one quick question before anything else. Which country are you watching this from right now? And what time is it there? Hold that thought, because what I'm about to reveal will change everything. Not someday, not next week. Right now, if you watch carefully till the end, I promise, your life will never be the same again. Ask yourself this. How many times have you begged life for something it never gave? How many times have you pleaded for love, respect, success, or approval, and received nothing in return? Here's the truth most people never understand. The moment you stop begging, stop pleading, and stop asking the world to validate you, life itself bends toward you. Not because you demanded it, not because you forced it, but because the universe recognizes one thing: a soul that no longer depends on anyone to feel whole. And here's what makes this different. Most people will never watch till the end. Most will stop halfway, miss the secret, and stay stuck in the same patterns. But if you stay with me, I'm going to show you exactly why life bows only to those who stop begging and how you can step into that power today. By the end of this video, you won't be the same person who started watching. You'll see the world differently. You'll feel yourself differently. You'll understand why life bends and why most people never notice it. So tell me, right now in your mind, where are you watching this from, and what time is it there? Keep that in your mind, because this is your moment. This is your awakening, and it starts now. When you no longer beg, life bows. The moment you stop begging is the moment everything changes. When you stop asking life to hand you what you think you need, when you stop pleading for attention, love, or approval, you step into a different kind of power. It is not loud. It does not demand. It simply exists. In that quiet presence, the world begins to notice. Doors open without effort. People respond naturally. Opportunities arrive not because you asked, but because you no longer need to. Begging comes from a sense of lack, from thinking that something outside of you will complete you. But life does not respond to lack, it responds to wholeness. When you feel complete, when you honor your own dignity, when you stand firmly in your own truth, life itself bows to that energy. You do not have to push or plead. You do not have to explain yourself. You simply show up fully, and the universe aligns around you. This is not arrogance. This is not selfishness. This is awakening. You are no longer dependent on the reactions of others to feel worthy. You are no longer seeking permission to exist or approval to be seen. You are enough, here and now, exactly as you are. When you stop begging, you stop living in fear. You stop shrinking to fit what others want. You stop chasing what cannot be forced. In its place comes calm, clarity, and a deep knowing that life is not a battle to win, but a river to move with. The more you resist, the more you struggle. The more you release, the more life flows. Stand fully in yourself. Claim your space in this world. Let go of the need to plead for what is already meant for you. Life responds to presence, to authenticity, to courage. Stop asking, stop chasing, breathe, release, and watch as life bends, unfolds, and works with you in ways you could never have demanded. Self-respect is the true power. True power does not come from asking others to see you, approve you, or give you what you think you need. True power comes from within, from knowing your own value and honoring it without apology. When you respect yourself, you no longer need to beg for attention, love, or validation. You no longer tie your worth to the reactions of others. You stand quietly, firmly, and fully in who you are. Every time you beg, Even silently, you give away your energy. You trade your dignity for temporary relief, and that leaves you empty. But when you honor yourself, when you claim your space and own your presence, something shifts. The world begins to respond differently. People treat you differently not because you demand it, but because you carry a strength that cannot be ignored. That strength comes from self-respect. Self-respect means setting boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means saying no to what drains you and yes to what nurtures your soul. It means trusting yourself enough to walk away from anything that diminishes your light. Life respects this because it recognizes integrity and consistency. When you honor yourself, life honors you. When you stop shrinking, life begins to expand for you. This is not pride or arrogance, it is clarity. It is the deep knowing that your value is not measured by someone else's attention, approval, or praise. It is the recognition that your life is yours to lead, and your peace is yours to protect. When you respect yourself, you create a magnetic energy. You no longer cling to outcomes or try to force people to behave a certain way. Instead, you move through life with calm confidence, and the world naturally bends toward the one who knows their worth. Self-respect is the quiet power that shifts everything. It is the seed from which freedom grows. When you respect yourself, you no longer feel the need to prove anything. You no longer plead silently or outwardly for recognition. You simply exist fully, and in that existence, life begins to flow to you. People and circumstances respond naturally to the energy of someone who stands in their truth. That is the real power. That is the freedom that comes when you stop asking for permission to exist. Power grows in presence. Power is not loud. It does not shout, demand, or beg for attention. True power grows quietly, deeply, and steadily, like a tree rooted in solid earth. When you are fully present, truly aware of yourself in this moment, you carry a strength that cannot be taken away. It does not depend on others noticing you or approving you. It is already there, within you, waiting to be recognized by you. Presence is not just standing in a place or sitting quietly. It is being fully aware of your body, your thoughts, and your feelings, without being pulled by them. It is observing life as it unfolds, without clinging, without chasing, without reacting desperately. When you stop begging and stop seeking approval, you allow yourself to exist fully in this moment. That presence becomes magnetic. People feel it. Life feels it. Opportunities are drawn to it naturally, effortlessly, like rivers flowing to the ocean. The world often tries to measure power in noise, in outward displays, in what can be forced or demanded. Zen teaches that real power is the opposite. It grows in stillness. It grows when you are unshaken by what others think, by circumstances, or by fear. When you are fully present, you are untouchable, not because you are distant, but because your energy is whole, centered, and calm. You do not need to push. You do not need to fight. You do not need to beg. Life begins to respond to the presence you offer. Being present also means listening to yourself, to the world, to the subtle signs that guide you. In this presence, clarity comes. You see what is necessary, what is true, and what is worth your energy. You no longer waste time chasing illusions, begging for outcomes that were never meant for you. Instead, you move in alignment with life, and the path unfolds naturally. Power grows in presence because presence is freedom. Freedom from fear, from desperation, from the need to control. It is freedom to be who you are, completely and unapologetically. The more present you are, the more life itself bends toward you, offering what aligns with your being. People are drawn to this energy. Circumstances shift. Life respects the person who exists fully, calmly, and authentically. So stand in this moment. Feel your feet on the ground. Breathe and allow yourself to be fully here. Do not chase. Do not beg. Do not plead. Simply exist in your presence and watch as power grows quietly, invisibly, yet irresistibly around you. The world bends to presence because presence cannot be forced. It can only be recognized, felt, and honored. Letting go is liberation. Life is always moving, always changing, yet most of us hold on as if the world should bend to our will. We cling to people, to outcomes, to ideas, and even to our own fears. Begging, chasing, and demanding come from this very attachment. Zen teaches us that suffering comes not from what happens, but from our refusal to let go. Letting go does not mean giving up or being weak. It means freeing yourself from the chains that bind your mind and your heart. It means releasing the desperate need to control what cannot be controlled. When you let go, you stop pushing against life. You stop struggling with what is. You stop begging for outcomes that were never yours to force. In that release, freedom arises. Imagine holding a cup tightly, refusing to open your hand. The water inside becomes stagnant. The weight crushes your fingers. The moment you open your hand, the water flows freely, clean and refreshing. Life works the same way. When you release your grasp, when you stop clinging to outcomes, to people, to approval, everything begins to flow naturally. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People respond in ways that were impossible when you were trapped in desperation. Letting go also means releasing the stories you tell yourself, the shoulds, the if-onlys, the judgments about how things must be. Zen teaches that these stories are illusions, distractions from the present. They keep you small, anxious, and stuck. When you release them, you step into clarity. You see life as it truly is, a series of moments, each complete, each unfolding perfectly in its own time. True liberation comes when you stop begging for life to conform to your expectations. You stop demanding validation, love, or success from external sources. You stop clinging to what has passed or worrying about what might come. Instead, you breathe, you trust, and you allow. You allow life to be life. You allow yourself to be fully present. You allow the world to align around your being rather than forcing it to fit your desires. When you let go, you discover a power you never had while clinging. You realize that life does not resist you, it was never against you. You discover that you do not need to fight for peace or chase happiness. They have been within you all along. By releasing control, you become like the river flowing effortlessly to the sea, unstoppable, natural, and deeply free. So breathe deeply. Relax your grip. Stop begging, stop chasing, and stop trying to hold what was never yours to hold. Step into liberation. Step into the flow of life, where everything arrives naturally, perfectly, and at the right moment. Letting go is not loss. It is the ultimate freedom. It is the way life bows to those who trust, release, and simply exist fully. Desire mirrors your inner state. Everything you seek outside of yourself already exists within you. Yet, most of us spend our lives chasing it, begging for it, hoping the world will hand it over. Love, respect, peace, success, happiness. So often we look for these in other people, in circumstances, in possessions, in approval. And when the world does not deliver, we feel empty, desperate, or unworthy. Zen teaches that this outer seeking is a reflection of the inner state of your mind and heart. Desire mirrors what is happening inside. When you beg, when you chase, when you cling to outcomes, it is a signal that somewhere inside you feels incomplete, lacking, or unaccepted. The world cannot fill that void. Life does not bow to neediness, it bows to wholeness. The moment you begin to nurture yourself, honor yourself, and fill your own cup, everything outside begins to respond naturally. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear. Situations shift. Not because you begged for them, but because your inner state resonates with the fullness you carry. Zen wisdom teaches that peace, love, and contentment are not rewards. They are reflections. They mirror your inner clarity and completeness. If your mind is restless, you will see restlessness everywhere. If your heart is anxious, the world will feel threatening. If your soul feels small, everything outside will feel impossible. But when your inner state is calm, grounded, and whole, the world begins to align with that energy. Life bends naturally toward the person who is complete, not the person who is desperate. This is why desire and attachment cause suffering. They are like clouds covering the sun. They hide the light within you. When you release your craving for things outside, when you stop begging, when you stop relying on others to validate your worth, the clouds dissolve. The light of your own being shines, and the world mirrors it. You begin to attract what is aligned, what is meant for you, effortlessly. Practical presence begins in your mind. Notice what you desire and ask, does this desire come from emptiness or from fullness? If it comes from lack, it will never satisfy. If it comes from alignment, it will flow naturally, without begging, without forcing, without desperation. Zen teaches that the more you cultivate inner peace and completeness, the less you need, and the more life gives. So, stop looking outside for what is already inside. Care for your mind, nourish your heart, strengthen your spirit. Let your inner state be full, calm, and unshakable. When you do, your desires no longer control you. They reflect your wholeness. Life bows to that wholeness. Life responds to the peace, the confidence, and the quiet strength you carry within. Desire is not a curse, it is a mirror. Look into it, see what is inside, and cultivate the fullness there. Then everything outside will fall naturally into place, not because you begged, but because you are complete. Silence speaks louder than words. Most of us spend our lives trying to make the world see us, hear us, or respond to us. We shout for attention, we argue, we explain, we chase approval. And yet, all this noise often leaves us feeling exhausted, unseen, and unfulfilled. Zen teaches that the deepest power, the clearest wisdom, does not come from words, it comes from silence. Silence is not emptiness, it is presence. It is the quiet space in which life speaks, in which clarity appears, in which the unseen becomes visible. When you stop begging, stop shouting, stop trying to force the world to notice you, you create space. In that space, life begins to respond naturally. Opportunities appear, people show up, and circumstances align, not because you demanded them, but because you have become a quiet force that the universe recognizes and respects. Think about a river. When it flows freely, undisturbed by stones or barriers, it moves with power and grace. When it crashes against obstacles, it splashes and fights, losing energy. Silence is like the calm river. It does not fight, it does not beg, it does not demand. It simply moves with clarity and purpose, unstoppable and strong. Life is drawn to that energy. Zen teaches that when you embrace silence, you also embrace awareness. In silence, you notice what is real. You notice your thoughts, your fears, your desires, without being controlled by them. You see the truth of situations, the intentions of people, the natural rhythm of life. And in that awareness, you act from wisdom rather than from need. You stop begging for what cannot be forced and begin to receive what is truly aligned with you. Silence also has the power to transform your relationships. When you stop speaking to convince or demand, when you stop pleading to be heard, people begin to listen differently. Your presence, your calm energy, carries a message louder than any words could. People are drawn to authenticity, not to noise. Life respects the one who is still, grounded, and unshakable. Most importantly, silence allows you to connect with yourself. In the quiet, you discover your own inner voice, your own truth, your own guidance. You do not need validation from outside because you are already whole within. Begging fades, fear fades, anxiety fades. What remains is a deep, unshakable sense of being fully here, fully alive, fully present. So do not fear silence. Do not rush to fill every moment with noise or explanations. Stop begging, stop shouting, stop forcing. Sit in your presence. Breathe. Listen. Observe. In this silence, life will speak. In this silence, the universe will bend toward you. In this silence, you discover that what you truly seek has always been within you, waiting for you to notice. The world bows not to the loud, but to the quiet, not to the desperate, but to the aware, not to those who plead, but to those who exist fully, calmly, and completely. In silence, your power becomes undeniable. In silence, life responds naturally. The world honors inner authority. Life does not bend to those who beg, plead, or constantly seek approval. Life does not respond to desperation or fear. The world bows only to those who know themselves, who stand firmly in their truth, who carry the quiet strength of inner authority. This authority is not loud or showy. It does not boast. It does not demand. It is a calm, unwavering presence that says without words, I am enough. I belong. I am here, fully and without compromise. Inner authority begins with knowing yourself deeply. It begins with understanding your worth, your limits, your values, and your purpose. It is the courage to honor yourself even when others do not. It is the willingness to say no to what drains you and yes to what nourishes you. It is the decision to live in alignment with your truth, not the expectations of others. When you claim this authority, you no longer beg for life to approve you. You no longer shrink to fit into the comfort of someone else's acceptance. You stand fully in your own space, and the world responds. Those who carry inner authority are magnetic. People feel it without understanding why. Opportunities appear naturally. Doors open without effort. Life begins to align because the energy you emit resonates with the natural flow of the universe. Authority is not forced. It cannot be begged for. It is recognized, felt, and respected. Zen teaches that this recognition comes not from showing strength, but from being whole, centered, and consistent in your presence. Inner authority also means taking responsibility for your life. It is not blaming others for what you lack, nor pleading for help when you can act. It is the clarity to know what you can control and the wisdom to release what you cannot. This balance is magnetic. It creates trust, respect, and alignment. The world naturally bends to the one who does not complain, who does not grovel, who does not beg, but who acts from integrity and quiet power. Carrying inner authority does not make you unkind or unloving. On the contrary, it allows you to give more fully, to help more sincerely, and to connect more deeply. When you are anchored in yourself, your generosity is not a transaction, your love is not conditional, and your guidance is not for validation. You give because it is natural, not because you are seeking something in return. This is the power that life honors. Life respects those who honor themselves. Life responds to courage, clarity, and presence. It responds to the calm confidence of someone who does not grovel, who does not chase, who does not plead. Inner authority is the energy that cannot be ignored. It does not beg, it does not ask, it simply exists. And in that existence, the universe aligns around it effortlessly. Stand in your truth, trust your own judgment, claim your own space, release the need to seek permission from anyone, including life itself. Life will bend naturally to your integrity, your clarity, and your inner strength. This is the power of inner authority, the quiet, unwavering, unstoppable force that transforms not only your life, but also the way the world responds to you. Begging is the shadow of desire. Most of our suffering comes not from what happens in life, but from the way we cling to what we want. Desire is natural, it is part of being human, but when desire turns into begging, into desperate pleading, it becomes a shadow. It hides your true power. It keeps you small, anxious, and dependent. Zen teaches that begging is not a path to fulfillment, it is a mirror of the emptiness we refuse to face within ourselves. When you beg for love, respect, success, or recognition, you are revealing the part of yourself that feels incomplete. You are asking the world to fill a space that only you can fill. The world cannot grant what you do not already carry inside. Begging binds you to outcomes, traps you in fear, and distracts you from the present. It keeps your mind restless, your heart anxious, and your energy scattered. The more you reach, the more life seems just out of reach. But the moment you stop begging, something shifts. The shadow lifts. You stop looking outside for validation. You stop chasing what cannot be forced. You begin to see that your desires are reflections, not commands. They show you where your mind is restless, where your heart feels incomplete, where your attention has been divided. When you look at desire this way, you are no longer a prisoner of it. You are the observer, the master, the one in control. Zen teaches that fulfillment does not come from getting what you want, it comes from seeing clearly what you already have. When your mind is calm and your heart is full, your desires lose their desperate edge. You no longer need to plead for life to conform to your expectations. You receive naturally what aligns with your being, and you release what does not. In this way, desire becomes a guide, not a chain. It points you to where growth is needed, without controlling you. Begging is the shadow because it hides your power. It hides the truth that life bows to wholeness, not to desperation. When you release the need to beg, when you stop trying to force outcomes, you step into freedom. Life responds to the clarity, the peace, and the integrity you carry. People are drawn to your energy, opportunities arise, circumstances shift. Life bends toward the one who no longer pleads, no longer clings, no longer chases. This is not about suppressing desire. It is about understanding it, observing it, and letting it guide you from a place of inner wholeness rather than lack. Desire becomes a compass, not a master. When you move with this awareness, you realize that everything you sought through begging was already within you all along. The moment you stop begging, the world bows naturally, effortlessly, and in harmony with your being. So release the shadow. Stop pleading for life to give you what it cannot. Stop looking outside for what only exists within. Notice your desires, honor them, and then step back. Stand in your completeness, in your dignity, in your calm presence. Life responds to this energy. Life bows to the one who is whole, aware, and free. Begging is the shadow, but wholeness, presence, and self-awareness are the light that illuminates the path to freedom. Remember this. Begging is optional. Seeking approval is optional. Pleading for life to give you what you think you need is optional. What is not optional is your awakening. What is not optional is your freedom. When you stop begging, you stop resisting. When you stop chasing, you stop fighting. When you stop pleading, life begins to flow naturally, effortlessly, and inevitably toward you. Doors open, opportunities appear, people respond. The universe bends not to your words, not to your efforts, but to the quiet, unshakable power of your presence. This is not a lesson you hear once and forget. This is a truth to live. Stand fully in yourself. Honor your dignity. Respect your energy. Release what is not yours to control. Trust the flow. Trust your being. Trust the process. And as you move through life from this place of wholeness, you will notice something incredible. Life stops feeling heavy. Fear stops controlling you. Anxiety stops chasing you. Peace, clarity, and confidence replace desperation. You become magnetic not because you demand it, but because you no longer need to. Carry this with you always. Life bows to those who no longer beg. The world responds to those who stand fully in themselves. Your power is not outside of you. It has always been inside you, waiting for you to claim it. So breathe, release, stand, and watch as your life unfolds in alignment with the quiet, unstoppable force of your awakened self. Your awakening is not tomorrow. It is now.